Today, we'll be looking at formulas, functions, and formatting options in Excel. So we have this little piece of data that we'll be working with today. So we're going to write our first formula in order to get the revenue. Okay, to fill up the revenue column, we need to multiply the price by the quantity sold. So to do that, first of all, you need to type the equal sign. So in Excel, if you want to write a formula, the first thing you need to do is to type the equal sign. Right. So I'll go through three different ways whereby we can get this done. So the first way is equal sign equals 100, then star, that is multiplication sign in Excel, times 76. Then you press your enter button. Okay, you will get the revenue. Right. But that is not that is not scalable. Okay, so we cannot continue to type for type all the numbers. What if we have a very long data in our table? So the second way is when you type equal sign. Like I said earlier, all the cells in Excel, they all have names. Okay, they all have references. So our price, the first price on the list is on cell D2, whereas the first quantity sold on our table is on cell C2. So you can say cell C2 times cell D2. Okay, so then you press your enter button and you can see that we still have the same answer. Okay, so the third way you can do this is instead of typing the cell references yourself, instead of typing the cell names or the cell references C2 D2, you can as well type equal sign, then you click on the cell, times, and you just click on the cell and press the enter button. You can see that we all had for all the options, all the three steps, we got the same answer. So now that we've done this is now scalable, because what if we change one of these? For example, oh, the quantity sold for the quantity John sold wasn't 76, it was 66. So once you change to 66 and you press the enter button, it changes automatically. So this is now scalable. Okay, so now can we, instead of doing the same thing over and over again for all the rows, all we need to do is to use the autofill handle. Okay, so that is the autofill handle. So I'll zoom in so you can see. So instead of dragging down, okay, instead of dragging down this way to fill out to copy the formula from cell E2 down the column, instead of dragging down, what we can do is you double click on the autofill handle. So if you look at the bottom right corner of this or of the cell, once you hover your mouse on it, then it changes to a solid black cross. So once it changes, you double click on it. Okay, so once you double click on it, it fills down your formula. No matter how long the table is, it fills down the formula. Okay, so that is what we call relative referencing. Okay, so if you click on here, you see what is there is D2 times C2. Okay, if you click on here, it's D9 times C9. So Excel is saying, okay, take what is whatever it's in two cells away from here, multiply it by what is in one cell away from this cell, this particular cell. So it goes down straight like that, even up until here. You see D19 times C19. Right? So that is relative referencing in Excel. Okay, so we'll now talk about absolute referencing. So what if there is a let's say price list? There's a new price list, and the prices have now increased by 10%. Okay, so let's do new price. Okay, the new price column, and let's say price uplift, price uplift. Now if the price for all these has been increased by 10%, so I'll put the 10% here, but I'll put it in decimal. Let's say 0.10 as the 10%, 0.10. Okay, it's our new price. What we need to do is to add this whole price plus the whole price times the percentage increase. Okay, so what we do is first of all press equal sign times D2, that is our price, D2 times D2 times so D2 sorry, D2 plus D2 times H1. Okay, so this is our new price. Okay, so if we drag that down, that is not giving us the correct answer. Okay, you can see it's just giving us 1, 2, 3, 1, just giving us the same thing. So the reason why that is we need to lock this cell. Okay, so we need to do absolute referencing such that this do not need to shift from H1 to H2 to H3 to H4. So to do that, you click on, once you click on your cell, you go into the formula bar, which is the best place to edit your formulas. So you go in there and you click on H1, then press the F4 key. Okay, so that what that we do, that we had dollar signs into the cell reference. Okay, so this is absolute referencing. So if I do that now, okay, it gives the same answer. And if you fill that down, you can see that 10% of 90 has been added to it, okay, to give us a new price of 99, okay, and so on and so forth. Right, so that is absolute referencing in Excel. Okay, so we can also name ranges, we can name cells, we can all these cells. Okay, this is a name here in the name box. So this is cell F3, cell E3, cell E7. Okay, you can also name a range as well. You can name a range of data. You can name this. I can name this. I can name this. Okay, so now I'm just going to name the revenue column. Okay, now I'll change it. Just change. To do that, you just need to highlight the range you want to rename and click on the name box. Then you type the name. Okay, so I'll do total revenue. Okay, so just make sure there is no space in between. Okay, total revenue, then press your enter key. So you have just named this range. Okay, so if you forget the name of the range at any point in time, just click on the table and click on this little drop down, and you see the name of the range. Okay, so that is how to name a range in Excel. All right, so now we're just going to go through some commonly used functions in Excel. So just today we are just going to go through a few of them, and the subsequent videos we will be dwelling so much on others. So today we'll be going looking at the sum function, the minimum, the average, and the count. Okay, so let's say, for example, we want to get the total number of quantities sold by all the sales rep. So instead of counting this plus this plus this plus this plus this, there is a function in Excel called sum. Okay, so let's call this total. So to get the total number of quantities sold in Excel, so we're going to use this sum function. And what do we need to do first of all? We need to type the equal sign. So once you type the equal sign, then you start your start writing the name of the function, which is sum. Okay, so the moment you start typing, Excel will give you a couple of suggestions. Are you trying to say this? Are you trying to are you looking for this? Are you looking for that? So the more you type, the more the suggestions get closer to what you're looking for. So now you're looking for sum. Okay, so if you see what you're looking for, you can either double click on the function or you press the tab key. So I'll try it too. I'll double click on the function sum. You can see, so it's just you know. So and once you have that, you see the definition. So sum, what is next? Number one, number two. So Excel is saying you can add write the numbers 2, comma 3, comma 8, comma 9, comma 10, or so or thereabout. Then close it. Excel will sum it up for you. Okay. So again, sum, instead of double clicking on this, right, this time around, I'm just going to press the tab key on my keyboard, tab key. So it does the same thing, right? So instead of typing all these numbers, 66, 59, and everything, 94, everything from head to toe, instead of doing that, what I'm just going to do, you can either highlight from the first cell, C2, and drag it down all the way to the last one, which is C40, then close the bracket, then it gives you the total. Okay, so that's the way. Okay, another way you can go about this is, um, you know, another way you can go about this, when you type the sum function, you call it the sum function. Okay, so we know that what we are adding up starts from cell C2 through cell C21. So you can also write that as well. C2 through, how do you write through? It's by typing the colon sign through cell C21. Okay, so that will also give you the same thing. Okay, so if you if you want to get the sum for the next column as well, for the next column and next column, what we did the other time using the autofill handle, you can also do the same here. So if you drag on it and click on the autofill handle, drag to the right, you also get the sum for all the figures in the column. Okay, so that is that. So if you're looking for, let's say we are looking for the sales rep that sold the least number of products. So instead of going through the list to scan, through which one is the list? Is it 24? Is it 51? Is it 32? There's a function that can help us do that in Excel, which is main. So you just type your equal sign, then mean. Okay, that's minimum. And you see, Excel also gives us the definition of all these functions. So this one says it returns the smallest number in a set of values. Okay, so if I press my tab key, from which range of number do I want to get the minimum? So you can also drag from the top to the bottom, or you can type the cells in like C2 through C21, or you just drag it that way from top to bottom. Then so same way, we can also, now we have 24 as the lowest number in this range, 24. So you can also do the same thing for subsequent columns by clicking on the autofill handle and dragging to the right. Okay. So same way, if we also want to get a sales rep that sold the highest number of products. So instead of scanning through the table as well, there's a function in Excel that does that. Okay, so you press your equals button, and the name of this function is max. You can see from the definition, returns the largest value in a set of values. Okay, so pressing the tab key or double clicking on the function, then what next? Number one, number two, and so on. So we need to include the range of numbers, the set of numbers we want to get the maximum for. Okay, so as usual, it's C2 through C21. Okay, then you press enter. Right. So the same way, you can also click on, if you want to get the same thing, maximum for this column, maximum price, maximum revenue, the same thing, you hold on the autofill handle and drag to the right. Okay. So average as well, if you want to get the average number of quantity sold, you want to get the average price, the average revenue, you want to know what the average looks like, you can also do the same, okay, by using the average function in Excel. Okay, so the average function is average. So you can see there are so many average functions in Excel: average, average if, average ifs. So in subsequent videos, we'll be covering most of these functions. But today we are just going to dwell on the average. So you can either double click on this or you press your tab button. So the range we are dealing with is C2 through C21. Close bracket, enter button. So this is the average quantity sold. Okay, and same way you can also click on the fill handle and drag to the right if you want to get the average for other columns as well. Okay. So if you want to know the total number, the total number of maybe total number of sales reps, total number of prices, total number of quantities sold, or total number. So we use the count function. Count function, we count all the cells that contains numbers. Okay, so in Excel, you want to count a range. You want to count a range of cells. Okay, so you use the count function. Okay, so the definition says it counts the number of cells in a range that contains number. Okay, so the range we are dealing with is C2 through C21. Close bracket, then enter. So that means we have 20 entries from C2 to C21. So a very fast way to do that, if you click on the first cell and you just drag down to the last, okay? So if you look at the bottom right corner of your screen, you see the count, the sum, and the average. So it displays these measures quickly, just for us to see. Okay, so the average that we just calculated here, 51.25. So this is it here, and this is the count, and this is the sum as well. Right. So you see, this is count A. So what does count A, or what does it do? Okay, so let's find out. So if you do count A, okay, so count A, count the number of cells in a row in a range that are not empty. So which means if you do count A, it will count both text and numbers. Whereas count would only count numbers, right? So count A, if you do count A, from our range of values, which is C2 through C21, close bracket, gives us 20. Okay. So in the same way, if you fill this across, we are still going to get 20. Yeah, so and this as well, if you fill it across, we are still going to get 20. Okay. So these are the most commonly used functions in Microsoft Excel. In subsequent videos, we'll be covering more of other functions like SUMIF, SUMIFs, COUNTIF, COUNTIFs, and the likes. Okay. So right now, we are going to talk about formatting options in Excel. So you can see everything on the table just looks the same. We really can't differentiate word from word. The title, the heading from from the body, cannot differentiate price from just ordinary numbers. So we're just going to look into ways we can format these cells, columns, and everything, so they would stand out from each other. Okay. So in Excel, if you click on the row, okay, on the row, if you click on the number in the row like this, it highlights all the cells in the row, and any changes you make while highlighting the cell, we apply to all of the content of the cells. For example, we're just going to make this the title, make it stand out. Let's make it bold to stand out from the table. Okay, so while it's selected, I'll click on this, go to the Home tab, okay, and the font ribbon. On the font group, you see B. This B stands for bold. Okay, you can either click on this or you press Control and B on your keyboard. Okay, so this has really stood out from the rest of the data. So another thing to note is that I mentioned that in the previous video that automatically Excel, if you type anything in Excel and Excel recognizes it as a text, it formats it automatically. It's formatted to stay on the left side of the cell, whereas numbers will stay automatically on the right side of the cell. Okay. However, you can change this. Okay, if you want to, you can change this. For example, we want the headings to stay, to stay in the middle. Okay, so to do that, you highlight them, you highlight the headings, and you click on your Home tab, and from the Home tab, Home ribbon, in the alignments group. In the alignments group, you see, so this is align left, align to the right, and this will make it align to the center. So if you click on this, they all align to the center. Okay. So another thing I want to show you right now is formatting numbers. How to format numbers to stand out. So as it is, we really cannot differentiate between this and this, because this is price, which is currency, and this is quantity, so which is number. Okay, so we need to make it stand out from each other. So clicking on the column itself, okay, highlighting all the columns. So if you come in here, still on the Home tab, Home ribbon, in the number group. So if you click on General, you click on this drop down, you see different number formats. So this is price, so we can say this is currency. Okay, so if you want like right now is in two decimal places, so if you want it to be one decimal place, you click on this button, it decreases while this one increases it. So if I want it to be in three decimal places, I click on this, and if I want to decrease or remove the decimal places, you just continue to tap on this till you achieve what you want. Okay, so I want to show you the difference between the currency format and the accounting format. Okay, so you can barely differentiate between the numbers and the currency sign, because they are closely packed together. So using the accounting number format might be might make it stand out. So let's try it on the revenue. So clicking on the revenue column, then go into on the Home tab, Home ribbon, the numbers group, click on the number format, then accounting. Let's use accounting format. So you can also see, the difference. So the currency sign, has just stepped back from the figure, so which makes us see the difference between the two. So whichever suits you best, and I either use the currency formatting or the accounting formatting. But I think this accounting formatting makes it looks nicer. Okay. So also in Excel, you can also format text. Same way you can format numbers, you can format text as well. So you can format text as well. So we've just formatted this text, okay, and that is not the only thing we can do. We've just made the text bold. You can also fill the background if you want. For example, You can, fill background, make them, just and choose any color of your choice. Okay, fill the background and things like that. So another thing I want to show you is, for instance, you formatted a particular cell. Okay, so for example, this text, we formatted it. I've aligned it, is in bold, and we've aligned it to the center. So if you want to format this cell B8, the same way you formatted cell C1, or you don't want to do everything all over again. So what you need to do is just to click on the cell, and on the Home tab, on the clipboard group, you see Format Painter. So you click on that. You click on that. Can you see that something has been copied from here? So whatever you click next would whatever you click next, the formatting you've applied on this cell would automatically be transferred to the next cell you click. So let's see. So I'm going to click cell B8 right now. So let's see. Can you see? So it has just formatted cell B8 the same way I formatted cell C1. It has made the text in bold and formatted to the center. Right. So that is format painter in Excel. So, and I also want to talk about auto formatting tool. So there is an auto formatting tool in Excel. So you might not have it on here, but what you need to do to get it here is you click on Customize Quick Access Toolbar. You go into More Commands. From there, you change this from Popular Commands to All Commands, and you scroll down till you see Auto Formatting. Auto Format. Yeah, this is Auto Format. So add. Okay, yeah, so I've just added it to my toolbar now. Okay, so if you click on auto format, so you can see the range, you can see a very long list of templates that has been made. So anyone that suits you, anyone that you like from the table, you can just click on anyone and press OK, and the table will be formatted exactly the same way. Okay, so these are the most important and common formatting options in Microsoft Excel. So watch out for my subsequent videos. I'm still going to talk about more and more Excel functions.